Okay, so we're here. I'm here in the cave, and there's art behind me. But I know, so we had our first interview, and we talked really briefly in that interview about, well, not really briefly, but we talked about um, the practice makes an artist, right? And
Yes.
me and my friend Matt had put it like a little magazine thing in grade 6, I want to say it was. We talked
Hmm.
really quickly about that, and I was like, man, I've got that somewhere. And I actually do have it somewhere. This is it. This
Oh
is
wow.
progression of art of one Chris Barnes and my friend Matt is in here too. So it was called The Fabulous Funnies. We were both like Sunday comic strip readers, you know. He was big in Garfield. And you'll notice right away that I was a terrible artist. And my friend Matt was not only at this time, but also now. My friend Matt is like light years ahead of me. Um, he doesn't really do comic book art, but he does a lot of art for what he does in work. And so like in here we have like it's by Matthew and Chris, and there's some guys that Matt drew, and they look, this is what, how old are you in grade 6? Like 10 years old, 11 years old?
Something like that, yeah.
So there's Matt's 11-year-old drawings. He'll probably kill me for showing off this. But and here's what I'll say about it. Here's mine. This is what my hair used to look like when I was 11. I mean, it's not bad for an 11-year-old, I suppose. It's not
Not
ridiculous.
bad at all.
If you can tell that's the Batmobile, but it's a pretty bad Batmobile.
I
So,
mean, I'm pretty sure if I drew that now, that's probably what it would look like.
and the stories are really terrible. My writing has improved a bit. Uh, like, here's my Batman. Here's a Batman when I was 11.
Love it.
Whoa, look at that. But then, like, here's a guy Matt drew. Like, he's like a cool guy.
Yeah.
You know? It's pretty neat. So that was neat to find down here in the basement. What else would I? Well, I'll share this with you. So we talked before we got on camera, or on live, about the stuff here behind me. I said,
Yeah.
some of this art is from San Diego Comic-Con. And I said, it's a really good story. So here's the really good story. And it'll be a plug for other people, which is nice. So Andy, I don't want to butcher his last name. Andy runs the Flash podcast, which obviously, thanks to the world around us, is on a bit of a hiatus because there's no Flash new episodes going on, or Supergirl, or. So he's sort of the umbrella producer, I guess, of all these podcasts, but he's the host of the Flash podcast.
Okay.
And in its infancy, when the Flash was just coming on TV, I started listening to that because I was like, I want to know more about the Flash show, and I found this podcast, and I commented on their things, and because it was cool to have them say my name after I commented on their stuff.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
I did want to ask. I don't mean to interrupt. The Flash podcast, for those of you who haven't seen it, what is it specifically for? Obviously, the Flash, which is a DC superhero, but what does this podcast focus on?
It's sort of like a companion to the show. So, like, the show is on, and then I don't know if they do it the same night or the next day. They make their podcast and talk about that episode of the show,
Okay.
and sort of theories about this or that, or where the plot might be going. You know, just sort of that kind of like Walking Dead and Talking Dead kind of thing, but
Yeah.
the Flash and the Flash podcast, who is not, it's not made by DC, but I think
It's fan made, but it focuses on them. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what that, and the same. There's a Supergirl radio, and for a while there was a Legends of Tomorrow podcast until there wasn't a Legends of Tomorrow anymore. And then there was there was an Arrow one, all sort of the same group of people, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so I started listening to that because I was interested. So they did like a season 0 leading up. So it was like if you don't know anything about the Flash, like you should listen to this podcast and find out about the Flash before the show comes on, so you're not like, what? And why is that great that guy is here? Like Leonard Snart, who's that? It's Captain Cole. Anyways, yeah. So I started, and I commented on this podcast, and a few years went by, and he had gained enough listenership, notoriety, whatever, that he got press passes to San Diego Comic-Con. And so he attended that, and I listened to that, and whatever. And then a couple other years went by. I think so this is in 2017.
Okay, so 3 years ago or so, 4 years ago.
Yeah. And he goes, hey, man, like, you've been a big, like, part of our podcast for a while, contributing comments and listening and sharing. Would you like a press pass to San Diego Comic-Con? And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, like, you got to fill in a little bit of paperwork, but, like, if you want to go, you can go. And at the time, I had just met my now wife, Brooke, at the time. And I was like, oh, I might get to go do this thing. And I go to California and share a hotel room with 5 other people and go do this thing. Like, I'm going to be gone for like a week. And she's like, you're going to California? That sounds like a good idea. And so, like, we went to California. And so we booked a hotel on
cool.
Hotwire. No, not Hotwire. Expedia. On Expedia. Hotwire does come into this story. So we book a hotel on Expedia. Like, it seems like it's cheap because hotels are outrageously expensive during the week of San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say.
As you may imagine, everything's full. Ooh. And so we get to California and we show up at this hotel. And it was a Comfort Inn. I want to say Comfort Inn. We weren't there that long because it seemed like they had just taken the body out of the room.
Oh.
Like it stank and it was weird and like the bathroom was sort of open-ish but not, and it was like, she's like, you're gonna be at a convention all day for like 4 or 5 days and I'm gonna stay here like this, like yikes. And so like, okay, we're not doing this. So like in sort of it, like I go into like, okay, like we're pretty new together. It's been like 3 months at that time. Like, okay,
oh, wow.
Like we gotta solve this problem. Like I gotta figure this out or I'm gonna look bad. So I'm like, okay, I get on Hotwire, and we get on Hotwire. And you can get this hotel for this much money, and it's within this, radius.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's Hotwire does, and like, I'll get my money back somehow from Expedia. Like, let's just figure this out. And so we book it. We book this Hotwire. I mean, it ends up being like a resort. So we go from like the dingiest, like
yeah,
crackheads outside the building. To like, there's 4 different pools and there's palm trees and there's a restaurant and it's right near the shopping mall and whatever. And so I get to go, and so we booked that, and I get on Twitter and like, Expedia, like, what the heck? This hotel's crap. And they're like, oh my God, we're so sorry. Like, quit trashing us on Twitter. It was 3 years ago, and apparently what I had to say on Twitter like had any clout at all. But they gave me all my money back except for one night because they couldn't fund the one night. But it turned out that the Hotwire deal and the one night was still at a resort was less than the price of the nights at the dingy place. It was unreal. And so from there, I get to take. There's a bus like. Comic-Con's a big deal, and everyone there is
the Comic-Con.
Right. And so there's this I'm like, I'll Uber to the thing, it'll be fine, it'll cost me a few bucks, but it's worth it. But no, there's a bus. There's a bus for free from the hotel. And so I just hop on the bus in the morning and go down to the thing. And so Andy had me do, he didn't have a lot of work for me to do because it was kind of a thank you, but like also thank you for like being a long-time listener. Like you won the sweepstakes that we didn't have to come and be part of this.
Yeah, it's just
And,
as a nice thing to do for you. Yeah.
yeah, so he's like, I don't have anyone to cover this thing. Like, are you okay to do that? I'm like, yeah, I got a smartphone. I can cover this. I got a battery pack. So I got to interview all the cast of Black Lightning before Black Lightning was a thing. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And so I had some questions that Andy wanted me to ask, and then I asked them, and I got their response and had it recorded on my phone and sent them all the files and stuff. So that's the work I had to do.
That's the best work there is, man.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was unreal to sort of see your heroes up close or whatever. I didn't know much about the Black Lightning folks, obviously, because the show wasn't on yet. But I was sitting there, I was waiting to do that, sitting in the hallway, and like the Green Arrow walks by, and I'm like, "Hey, Steve," and he's like, "Hey, man," and that was our interaction.
Cool.
I didn't want to like, "Oh my God, the Green Arrow's here."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Hey, Steve," hey, man.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And the one other thing that was super awesome, it's really awesome, I find, when you find out that like the celebrity people you watch on TV are actually those people. You know what I mean? Like sometimes they're like, "Hey, I'm personable on TV," and then you're like, "Hey, like guy," and you're like, "Whatever, like you're garbage."
Yeah, they're dismissive, or they're not as, like you said, they're not who they are on TV. They're maybe less than you're hoping for when you meet your heroes in some cases.
Exactly. And here's my story about that. Still at Comic-Con. So I'm like, Adam Savage is doing this thing. Like they have a like Hall H is the big hall, I guess. It's where all the things premiere and
where you, in videos you always see like the super long setup of tables, and there's all this whole cast of actors or whatever.
Yeah, that's Hall H. And then there's like Toronto. You know, you've been to Toronto Comic Con and Fan Expo and stuff, right?
Many times.
Yeah. So then you go to the breakout rooms there for things, and it's like a few tables and like 200 seats, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but in Toronto, they kick you out, right? At the end of every session, like get out, and you got to get back in line. So
yes,
you got
for the next thing to happen.
Yeah, which I hate, which I think is terrible. They don't do that in San Diego.
Oh, so you can just sort of sit there.
Yeah, so I'm like, I got nothing to do. Like, it's not super interesting things to me going on for a bit. But Adam Savage is going to be here at 5:00, so I'm just going to plant my butt in this room. Adam Savage. So the time comes, and Adam gets on stage, and he's like, "We're doing this thing, and here's a slideshow that I've got, and we're going to talk. I'm going to talk at you for a bit with my buddy here, and then we'll open it up, and there's a mic on the floor." And I'm sitting beside. It was what was the other character he was crossed with? I don't remember because the next part is so great. Boba Fett. I was sitting beside Boba Fett, basically. So he had the armor.
Like a cosplayer, right? Like not.
Yeah. Okay. Cosplay, not the actual.
Cosplayer dressed up as Boba Fett. Cool. I love it. That's so cool.
Yeah. So he's sitting there, and like he's got to meet Adam Savage. Like he is there for this. Like he has a question. He has a show and tell for Adam Savage. Holy crap, he's excited. I'm like, great. Like I don't know what to ask him because I don't like make things, you know. So whatever. I'm just happy to be there.
For those out there who aren't aware, real quick and easy. Adam Savage, who most people know from Mythbusters. If you check him out on YouTube, he's got a whole bunch of stuff where he makes things, and mostly he makes like really cool cosplay stuff. He's actually been to the Comic-Con a number of times in really crazy cosplays, and I have a feeling that's going to tie into this story in a second. Oh, and there you go. A little peek at Volume 2.
Yeah. Yes, thanks for that. I always forget to do that kind of thing. So yeah, this guy's super jazzed about meeting Adam Savage and he has a question for him. And so everyone he's like, just stay seated. Not Adam didn't say it, but people are like, whoever runs it is like, just stay seated until he says to get up the mic, because then people are blocking the aisle. So he's like, okay, like line up, and he's like, boom, out of his seat, right at the microphone. And he's like the second guy in line, even though he was like a cat ready to pounce. He's still second in line.
Oh, okay.
So he gets up to the mic, and he's like, yeah, like I made this armor, and like it's out of a filing cabinet, and it velcros off so you can wash the bodysuit. And Adam's like, what? That's awesome. And he jumps off the stage and comes down the aisle to check it out. And the guy goes like this, and he's like, I wasn't really going in for a hug, but okay, here's what anyways. And he gives the guy a hug, and then he's just like checking out his armor, like, oh, that's how you did this. That's cool, man, and whatever. And they have this interaction, and it's like, he really is that guy who,
That's
like,
so cool.
The idea comes across him, and he just lights up, and like that's who he is. And I thought that was so great to see. I thought that was great, and that's my Adam Savage story, but also my Comiccon story. So, like I said, I've got a few pieces of art here. There's a couple in there, but you probably can't really see.
Yeah, they're quite small from here, but clearly there's a number of cards there with looks like drawings on them.
Yeah, my best one from San Diego is Power Girl by Amanda Connor. Yeah, here, I'll show you that one. Hold on.
Please, I would love that.
Oops. So there's...
Oh, that is so cool. Oh, actually, and relevant to what you're talking about earlier, so is the page that is drawn on is the comic page that Chris was mentioning, where you can see the sections beyond that hard line don't even touch the printer, and then you've got the dotted line that's like your safe area where you're sure within that dotted line it's going to get printed.
Yeah.
And that is super cool, Chris.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And it was just like, I caught on to the game. Here's the game. If they ever have conventions again, make sure, however mundane your question is, have a question and be first to ask it. Because that gets you, sometimes, that's how they give stuff away. Like, that guy asked the first question, give him the page. Like, yes, thank you. Yeah. So that's how I got that.
Were you at like a drawing panel where they're all drawing and then you go up and ask questions while they do it? Or was that just like...
Yeah, that's what that one was. They were talking about like the Harley Quinn and Power Girl sort of crossover bit, and and I was like, oh, like I forget what I asked really, like who do you like to draw better, and she gave the easy answer to that, but I was the first one with a question, so I got to pick up what was there. They do it different ways for different people, obviously, or in different panels. They do raffles or whatever.
Yeah.
Jim Lee is hilariously amazing at giving stuff away. I have a Jim. It's not any character I know, so I probably should I should have it on the wall anyways. It's a Jim Lee.
It's a Jim Lee. Come on.
Yeah. I feel like an idiot now. I just lost all my credibility.
Yeah, get it framed, get it up there. You're fine. You still have it.
I do have it. But we were in the big, like, not Hall H, but a great big hall of people. And he's like, okay, the first person to bring me a slice of pizza gets this page. And this guy runs up there with a crust. And he's like, the next one, he's like, the person who's willing to eat this crust gets the next piece. And I'm like, I'll do it. And I ran up there and ate the crust. And I got the piece of art. It's moved 3 different houses since then. Or, well, not houses, but from an apartment to a house to another house. I have it. It's not up. But yeah, I ate someone else's pizza crust to get a Jim Lee art. Thankfully, before we were all off.
I mean, Yeah, no, that would not stop me. If that was the big challenge, I'd be like, "Pfft, done.
Right.
I'll eat a
Yeah.
pizza's worth of it if you want to give me a drawing, Jim Lee. No problem."
Yeah. So yeah, that was Sandy, and then press passes are good for 2 years, so I got to go again.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So just as a fan of the Flash podcast, as someone who commented fairly frequently, um, you ended up getting some seriously cool free press passes. You got to
Yeah.
work San Diego Comic Con by getting to talk to the cast of Black Lightning,
Yeah.
which is such hard, horrible work to be able to talk to these stars and ask them about a show that's coming out. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And then you get to have all these cool adventures. Like that's like the
Yeah.
ultimate Comic Con, like San Diego Comic Con thing.
Yeah. It was really great.
Like you said, I don't think it's a if, I think it's a when. But when San Diego Comic Con's back open, do you think you'd go again if you had to foot the bill?
Oh, I still have to foot the bill. I still have to fly and
Well,
pay for the hotel.
fair enough. But
But
if you had to buy the ticket as well, would you still go?
oh yeah, in a heartbeat. It was so worth it. Like it was a great show. And not to put a damper on like Toronto Comic Con and Fan Expo and stuff. Um, they are different shows though, really. They're not the same thing. Um, I would totally go again. I don't know how much tickets cost, but the price of the ticket is nothing compared to the price of the flight and the hotel anyways. So if you can afford to
No.
stay and fly, you can afford the ticket.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it was a really cool show. It's a big floor. Um,
Like
and
you mentioned, it's very different. Like, so for those, I mean, I imagine most of the people that watch this will have gone to Fan Expo Canada in Toronto or Toronto Comic Con or a similar show where there's basically you have like a big open floor and then there's all sorts of tables and stuff set up and an artist's alley, which is just row upon row of I guess indie artists or non super famous artists, and then you usually in Toronto anyway have the outlier being all the comic artists and stuff, and then a whole bunch of horror movie stuff and film stuff and gaming stuff. What's different about San Diego? I'm curious. As someone
uh,
who's never been, like,
yeah. So San Diego is a lot about um, look what's coming up in movies and TV and in the by way of superheroes and stuff. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of just sort of uh, saying periphery entertainers that isn't the right word for it. Like Kevin Smith is there. Like Kevin Smith isn't a comic book artist. He's not uh, he's a writer.
okay,
He's written comic books, but he's not like when I
he's not.
think comics.
That's not his thing. He's not a comic book creator.
Yeah,
He's
he's
all
known
has.
for movies and other pop culture references, Um,
Mm,
but he's there and he's a big deal at San Diego Comic Con, and so there's that and as he should be. Kevin Smith is hilarious, uh,
good to know.
and there's a lot of but there's a lot of that, like come see these stars and that sort of thing, and then the floor that's there is massive, is a massively massive floor, but like DC has a booth like half the size of the entire artist alley in Toronto Comic Con. Like it's just here's the DC
Wow.
experience, and they'll have like artists are there like drawing and putting on like it's up on a display, and they do like I don't know what they call it. It's like sort of like
Oh, okay.
art class with Greg Capullo. I don't know if he did one, but and so he would be there and he'd draw a drawing and sort of talk through it and take questions and whatever, and then someone I assume just gives it away, or they sell it. They probably sell it too.
Either, yeah, it probably goes to somebody at some point within
Yeah,
that show.
somehow it goes out. But then you go over here and it's like here's like about all the shows that we've got, and here's about the movies that are coming out. Like when I was there, like they had all the Justice League costumes, like
Oh,
full
cool.
size and stuff, like the actual costumes from the film and that kind of thing. And or I guess it was Batman Superman that was there at that time because Justice League wasn't out yet, so they wouldn't have shown
Yeah.
off. Maybe they did show off all the costumes the second year. Anyways, costumes. But it's a lot of like giant booths from big companies is most of the floor. Where and the artist area is actually far smaller. Well, the 2 years I went, anyways, the artist area was far smaller than I expected it to be, and
Hmm.
way smaller even than like Fan Expo.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
way, and I assume it's because it's probably ridiculously cost prohibitive to have a table. Like you can't be
Mm.
just like some like not just some like you go to Fan Expo and there's like you say rows and rows and rows of indie artists and like there's the people the girls who like I say girls it's probably not right to say that anymore but like they crochet the Pokeballs or Jigglypuffs.
All sorts of really cool, like crafty stuff.
Yeah,
That's all nerd geared. Yeah, which is
yeah,
super cool. I love that stuff.
yeah. I've had keychains on my keys for years and years now that are like the acrylic and it's got like Supergirl on it or whatever, like an actual little drawing that someone's made and it's pressed inside the acrylic somehow. And like that's like I bought that at Fan Expo. Those booths don't exist at San Diego.
Oh, okay. So it's much more than geared towards like the companies as opposed to individuals. And like you said,
Yeah,
that probably is due to it being cost prohibitive because
yeah,
I have heard. I never looked into it myself, but I imagine like Fan Expo and Toronto Comic Con to get a booth there is pretty pricey. Um,
yeah. It's like $600.
yeah, so I imagine, yeah, like I imagine going to San Diego Comic Con and trying to do that. It's quite a bit more, as that
Yeah,
is like the Comic Con. Like that's
yeah,
like the mecca of nerddom.
yeah. And like there is artists there. Like I have two or three or four of these cards are from San Diego. So there is artists, but it's not like the artist alley where there's just so many and then all different types of crafts. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's there's people drawing comic book stuff, and that's it for artist alley. And then it's stuff. Like buy the stuff, and I bought a lot of stuff.
I
It's like,
mean, yeah,
here I am in San Diego. Like I gotta get this. I gotta bring home something or
yeah.
many somethings to show that I was here.
I imagine though at that show specifically, you can find a lot of really cool, hard to find stuff too.
Yeah, and if you're brave enough and quick enough, you can get stuff signed by people while you're there. Like I do have a Wonder Woman statue. She's right over here. When the base is signed by Jim Lee.
Oh,
Yeah, because I was like, "Can you sign this?" And he's just like, "Thanks," because everyone's asking him to sign stuff. You know.
yeah.
Just,
I've thought about that a lot. Like at Fan Expo, the last one that was on last year before.
yeah.
Um, yeah. I in eternally I will be grateful. A bunch of my friends got together. My birthday's in September, so it's like the week following Fan Expo,
Right. Okay.
and a bunch of my friends got together and they bought me like the Jim Lee experience thing. So I got to
Oh,
go,
neat.
go see him, have him sign some stuff for me. So I got some comics signed, and I the sheer amount of people there, and he's just like, and I looked at him doing it, and I'm like, that man who spent his life putting ink on paper, I bet you has done more of signing than he ever has of drawing. Just sheerly because of how many people were there. Like it was like three things you could get signed per person, plus you got a poster signed, which is actually right in front of me. Um, and he like it was like a room of like 500 people, and he like didn't bat an eye. She's like, oh yeah, here, and I'm like, that's like 2,000 signatures, and he's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
do that in like an hour and a half. I'm like, oh. But think about that.
Good
Like
stay.
Yeah, like at that point, like, ooh. But yeah, no, I think,
Yeah,
um, and I've been lucky that, and I agree with you. If you're in the right place and you're fast and maybe very polite about it, you can get a lot of cool
yeah,
stuff signed. Because one of the, in my mind, a very small show, Anime North, which was in Mississauga a couple of years back, I went to. I happen to be a fan of Gundam Wing, and one of the voice actors from it was there, and I tried to get to like see him at a panel and I couldn't, but we were just walking around and he walked by me, and I just said, hi. I happen to recognize him, like, hi, thank you so much for doing what you do. I'm just a big fan. He's like, oh, hey, man, no problem. Boom, boom, boom. And he was on his way. And I'm like, if I had had, like, the DVD set that I have at home, he would have, I'm sure he would have, oh, no problem. And it's just like, yeah, if you're fast, you're polite, you can get a lot of cool stuff signed.
yeah. It's interesting how much just being sort of the same approachable you want them to be, if you are that to them,
Mm,
then they're happy to do stuff like that. I find some people, I get that they're there to make a couple bucks by signing their name, like that. That's a whole like industry. If you have
yep.
your name is big enough, I'm I'm actually personally, I don't like paying for signatures. I understand why people ask for money to do it. Like otherwise, Stanley would just spend like the last 10 years of his life, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, signing stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
you really would have.
but like I don't know. It was a few years ago now. Like Kevin Conroy was at Fan Expo, and he's on the line of tables that's in that big hall where you've paid. I don't know how much money it is because I don't look into that kind of thing. More money than I want to spend on it.
A fair chunk.
A
It's a
fair
fair
chunk
chunk.
for you to stand in line, and then you get to chat with him, and he'll sign something or whatever. And it was toward the end of the day, and all the lines were gone. He was just sort of sitting there, and I was like, okay. And I went up to him and I'm like, hi, Mr. Conroy. Like I don't really want anything signed, but like thanks for being Batman. Like
Yeah,
your
exactly.
voice
Thank you
is
for
the voice
being
I
Batman.
hear. Like that's when I read comic books. Like it's the animated series Batman voice that's speaking when I read
Yeah.
the dialogue. You know. And so I've done that, and I went to Charles Martinet was there, like Mario,
Oh,
like
cool.
so he was there, and I was like, like that's so awesome, you're the voice of Mario, like thanks, I've been playing this since I was a kid, blah blah blah, and he's like, yeah, thanks, man, yeah, have a good day. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
and but I've got another Kevin Conroy story though, if you want it.
Oh, yeah. Please do. I love it.
Oh, I have amazing friends, and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so last year I turned not last year, not 2020 in 2019 when the world was normal. I
That's
turned
real last year. That's fine.
yeah, like 2020 doesn't. Ugh.
Didn't
But
happen.
anyways, so in 2019 I turned 40, and so so did my friend Matt with the comic there, right?
Yeah.
So for Matt's 40th birthday, I got us tickets to go see Weird Al in Buffalo.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was like he had a big long title for his show. It was like the completely over the top, whatever show. And so it was Weird Al's band plus an orchestra, like a
Doing
20
Weird Al
piece.
spoof songs?
Yeah, to do Weird Al
Cool.
songs. And it was great. Like we went to this park, and it was anyways. It was. I thought I'd bought tickets for seats. I'd bought tickets for a section in the park, so like we got there fairly late,
Oh.
and so we ended up having to stake out a place to sit. That's neither here nor there. That's what I got him for his 40th birthday. Us on a road trip to Buffalo to see Weird Al. And for
Very cool.
my 40th birthday, what he got for me, through through a chain of a couple people, I'm sure. So Matt knows a guy is really good friends with a guy named Bill. Bill knows Paul Dini. Paul Dini obviously knows Kevin Conroy. So for the people at home, here, I'll do it this time. For the people at home, if you've liked pop culture anytime since the 80s, Paul Dini has written a whole bunch of it. He's written He-Man, he's written like G.I. Joe, he's written soap operas, he's done this, he's done that. Paul Dini, and he wrote a bunch of the episodes of Batman the Animated Series and Justice League and Batman Beyond and comic books and whatever. And so Matt knows Bill, Bill knows Paul, Paul knows Kevin Conrad. So for my 40th birthday, I got a video from Kevin Conroy, like, hey, Chris, it's Batman. Like, you're 40 now, and that's great. And, life is so rich, and you have a new daughter, Hazel, and you've got this, and you've got a great wife in Brooke, and you've got this, and just know that, like, Batman's got your back. Happy 40th birthday. Yada, yada. I'm like, oh my God.
That is...
Batman improves of what I'm doing with my life.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was wicked. I don't know how many times I've watched it, like 1,000 times. And I was like, wow, like that's a super like one of a kind experience for my 40th birthday. So that was pretty awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's my
Thank
Kevin
you, Bill.
Yeah, right. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, really.
Jane. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So that's my Kevin Conroy story.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Like you said, you've got some amazing friends, and it's worked out well for you. I'm glad to hear it, Chris. That's so cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Awesome. For our interview, I think you've kind of tapped me out. Just like last time, I do like to end it with 2 questions. One,
sure.
What have you been reading lately in the last couple months?
What have I been... So, given that it hasn't been all that long since our last interview, I did reread The Group of Seven. The Untold... No, what does it go? I forget the second title. Sorry, Jason.
A Most Secret Tale.
A Most Secret Tale. I knew Tale was in there. Sorry, Jason and Chris. Yeah, A Most Secret Tale. It's a really good comic book. I reread that. I've listened to more of Expeditionary Force. I'm now on book 11. I still can't remember. Anderson. Someone Anderson. Shoot. Sorry, guy who writes that book.
It'll pop up.
So, yeah. I've been reading that, or listening to the book of that while I go to work. And I reread Group of Seven. Because most of the time, in between our last 2 interviews and now, in my free time, I was drawing the second volume.
I was gonna say, I imagine you've been drawing Omega Squad.
Yeah, and now, so I'm on my month hiatus, which is extended by a couple days already, but volume 3 is in the works.
Awesome. And like you said, volume 3 is in the works. Just as a reiteration, because we've been telling some really cool stories, how can people find you, and how can they get your book?
Okay, yeah. So people can find me on Facebook and or Instagram. So Facebook, I'm Chris Barnes Art is my art page, all one word crammed together. And on Instagram, it's Chris_Barnes_art. And those are the 2 main places that I live as an artist online. I am trying to figure out a Patreon. And then if you want to get my book, you can message me on either of those platforms directly. And if you're too shy to talk to me, you can just go on Amazon and buy it there. And they'll ship it to you. But if you buy it from me, you'll get it signed. And some sort of sketch. Some sort of sketch in the package with it. Yeah. And so if you do tune into my Instagram, who says that anymore? If you do go on my Instagram, you might see things. Here, I'll show you something. This is crinkled up because it's been in my work bag. There's things for volume 3 that.
Cool.
You may or may not recognize the likeness of this fellow. I don't know. If you look at it on my Instagram, you'll tell by the comments. Someone did who that is supposed to be. That's my first pass. I actually really like it. There's a little worm around his neck there. Typically this guy's green.
Oh,
He's got a big
okay.
yeah, he'll come into play. So volume 3 is in the works. Volume 3 is actually, the outline is done. I'm filling in the meat of the first issue is written, and it's sort of a story that's going to have a beginning and then 4 stories and then bring them all back together at the end. So 2 out of 6 of those books are done.
Oh, wow.
Done being written.
Yeah. You've got it planned out, and then it'll just be the matter of sitting down after and getting it actually drawn. Wow.
Yeah.
So, good on you, Chris. Well,
there you go.
Obviously, everyone out there in YouTube land, check out all the links down below. You'll find Chris's social media down there, the Amazon links. I will say Chris is very nice and quick to respond, so like, don't feel nervous. Just reach out to him, get some cool drawings, and get some signed books. And Chris, absolutely, thank you for taking the time to come back on the show again. Let us know about Omega Squad Legion and share some really cool stories.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure, just like the first time. Super great.
Perfect. Well, thank you. So Chris, yeah, thank you. I just like last time, I've actually got a little bit of work on my plate now. I did an interview yesterday, 2 days. Oh my god, I'm losing days here. 2 days ago, I've got something tomorrow morning. I'm recording. Thank you. My goal is to have this edited and set up and out. I want to say probably next Wednesday.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's my goal. I think I can do it. Either way, just like last time, I'll have it on YouTube, but as unlisted, and then I'll send it your way. You can check it out, give me that thumbs up, and then I'll put it live. And of course, I'll tweet it out and tag you and everything in Instagram and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'll pimp it as much as I can too.
Thank you kindly. Yeah, thanks so much. Was there any questions you had on my end?
I don't think so. Like, are you back? Like, you have a everyday job too, right?
Yes, yeah. So I have a day job, and then I have this job. It's not a job. I like this too much. I really do. So I've been fortunate. Like I actually started a new job in September, and it's a really good company called FreshBooks. They do invoicing, so it's something to consider if you're setting up like a store, I guess. But anyway, good company. They treat me right. I've got banked holidays from last year because it was so new. I didn't bother booking anything, and they shut down for Christmas anyway. So whatever.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. So Monday and Tuesday this week, I'm just like I'm taking off, and they're like, yeah, okay,
nice.
yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah, so tomorrow and Tuesday are going to be editing days. That's why I mentioned like if tonight's not good, no problem. I've got all day tomorrow and Tuesday.
Yeah.
But then I'm back, and thankfully me being the weird guy I am, I work like 12:30 till 8:30, and then I'll stay up and I'll sleep in. So nice for me.
That's cool. Yeah. So you're not under the stay-at-home order.
Oh, I am. I work from home. The FreshBooks, they provided me this, as well as some laptops, monitors. So I actually just work from home. So yeah, so I find myself to be one of the rare cases where since March I haven't really left home unless like I go to the grocery store or something like that. Like it's been odd. But I'm not. As odd as it may seem, Chris is a guy who, reaches out to creators everywhere and talks to them for an hour or so on end. I'm not that social.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like I love talking to people, but like I'm not like I gotta go party every day. So
right. Yeah.
It's suited me just fine.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. Like we've moved here, and I've like friends. I have my work friends that I see at work,
Yep.
and then I am at home, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. We're there.
Welcome to adulthood. Yeah,
Eh.
no, it's all good. Play some Smash Bros. And whatever.
Wait. No, I gotta ask because I don't know. Maybe you're not that big into the gaming thing. Which version of Smash Bros do you play?
Oh, I have the one for Switch.
Okay, cool. No, we're good. I know some people. I have that too. That's one I like.
Oh yeah.
The some of my friends are really into it. They're like, yeah,
Yeah.
no, you can't play that one. You have to play Melee. And I'm like,
Oh god.
why?
I played
That's
a
a better
lot of
game.
Melee in the day.
Oh yeah.
Like I shared an apartment with three other guys. Like at the time that came out, I was 20. Yeah, like yeah, 20. And like I went to work and I came home and we ate pizza and we played Smash Bros till like 1 in the morning. And then I woke up at 5 to catch the bus to go to work again. And then
No.
And I did it again the next day, and the next day, and the next day. We played so much Smash Bros. It was
I'm good with that. I'm not good with the getting up at 5 thing. Oh my
I might have
god.
been a little later. I had to catch the first bus. Like so,
That sounds like a 5 a.m. deal. Yeah.
yeah, because I had to
Oh.
walk even from our place to downtown to catch the bus. Because the very first, like Peterborough, the buses all leave from one spot, go out, and come back. It's a weird system. And
Yeah, that's a little weird, but
halfway through the day, the buses are so late they just skip a run. Yeah, and then
is this like is that built in like everyone's notified or is that just like it happens you'll know if you're here?
yeah, if you live there, you know.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a great system. It's convenient for like, oh, I catch this bus, I go to the station, and then I get on this other bus from there. But it also takes forever. Anyways, so I had to get on the first bus. So I had to get up at, I want to say, I had to be at work at 7. So I got on the 6:15 bus. So I would have had to start walking at like 5:45 to get to the bus station on time. Yeah.
Ouch.
And then we'd stay up at least till midnight. And I worked typically 7 till sometimes 7 to 6.
Oh wow, you're pulling a long shift too.
Yeah, yeah, it was nice because the money was great. And I had, all the
Oh my
expenses I had was a room, one room out of 4. Like my rent was like $200, and then I didn't have cell phones.
Oh yeah, but you're splitting it up. Yeah. Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's
cell
awesome.
phones weren't invented yet, so I didn't have a cell phone bill. And well, I guess they were invented, but
Yeah, you didn't have one though, but
I
like
didn't have like the cell phone.
the
Like
brick.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
the click.
yeah,
Oh.
like you want to crank it. But and then yeah, we get pizza. We ate so much pizza. The pizza guys came to our place to sell us coupons. It was unreal. Yeah,
That's
if you
wild.
buy this book of coupons, like you get one pizza free, and that's the price of the book. And then you guys won't spend all your money on pizza. We spend money on pizza and ramen noodles. Like that was it. It was like either like food groups or nothing.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but it was a wild time. I played a lot of Smash Bros. But yeah, I just have a Switch now. Well, I have a PlayStation 4, but the young lad uses it more than I do now. I just play my Switch and that's it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I did go one night. There was a game night in Peterborough. Like come play Smash Bros. And it's Melee, and like oh, I'm good at Smash Bros. You know,
No, you're not. No,
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 no.
not even close. Like
There's people like us that we're good enough when you're playing the computer. Your buddies are just having fun, and then there's those people out there that's what they do, and you're
yeah,
just like,
like
what the hell?
there's 18 frames in this move, and there's 19 frames in your move, so you're yeah.
God. Well, that's like I've got I should say my girlfriend has. We have two profiles, and on hers we have the Switch Online stuff with the
Oh yeah.
Nintendo Internet,
Yeah.
and just for kicks, the other night I was like, yeah, why not? My buddy's online. I can maybe meet up with him, but I put myself into a quick play match, and I'm just like, all right, cool. we'll just, it'll be fun, right? Just,
Yeah.
maybe beat someone. I got so beaten hard so quick. It was just like, what?
What? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's Smash Bros is like super competitive.
Yeah. Yeah. The one on Wii U, I played a lot online. I was pretty good at that one. Like,
Right
if it
on.
like, an actual tournament, no. But like just all the guys like me playing online, like I can win my fair share.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, I'm playing a lot of XCom 2.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. I've heard
yeah,
good things actually.
it's pretty good. It's good. I like
Right
it.
on.
I like how it's different, right? Every time it's like they load you into a map, and it's all like turn-based strategy.
I was gonna say it's turn-based military, right? Where you have to like have your character go like hide behind crate, shoot over here,
Yeah,
and yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I like that kind of game.
yeah.
'Cause-
It's good. It's on sale now too, right
oh,
now. Yeah, 40. I think it's 40% off on
cool.
the eShop.
Right on. If you haven't yet, does your other half does she play games at all? No. Okay. Then
Not at
on
all.
your own as a singular individual, um, like we just got Cuphead. If you haven't played it yet, check it out.
Oh yeah.
Um, if nothing else, it's beautiful. It's all hand drawn frames in the style of like the old school Disney 1930s. Well, it's colored, but 1930s cartoons.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, so like it's got that kind of music and all the animations like hand drawn. Like I said, it's beautiful. It's also super hard. So there's not like a ton to do. It's basically like you have an overworld map and you've got bosses you have to go fight, or you have stages that are run and gun where it's like a platforming stage.
Hmm.
Um, and it's unforgiving, but
Nice.
it's not so punishing that it's like discouraging to play.
Right.
So like it'll wipe you out, but like it's easy enough to just get back right into it.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
They don't make games like that anymore. Not often.
No.
I mean.
No, and that's why it stood out and it stands out still to me anyway, because it's beautiful, it's hard, but it's fun, and it's like that's a
Nice.
good mix.
That's a good combination. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Nice.
perfect. Well, Chris, I do got to get going. Um,
Sure.
again, thank you. For sure, anytime you want to do another one of these, let me know. Um,
If you ever
and
need a
yeah,
if you ever need a fill in for a week,
for sure. Well,
just
I
leave
can't
the
wait to
date out
see.
in your intro and then just have it in the can. It's all good.
Well, I can't wait to finally get to see you, actually meet you. Would be cool. If when Fan Expo's up and running and you should choose to go, I appreciate for you it's a bit of a trek to come back out. That
Oh
would
no,
be
I'll be there.
awesome. Oh,
Because usually what I do at Fan Expo, it's my friend Matt lives in Toronto,
oh
and so
okay.
I just go crash at his place for 4 nights or whatever on his couch, and go to Fan Expo. Like, so we hang out and whatever. So like that, it I'll be there next Fan Expo. I'm there.
All right.
It's
Well,
probably not this year, but I'll be there.
no, that was Toronto Comic Con. They already
Yeah,
mentioned it. They're like, yeah, no, we're
public
not doing
blogging
it.
on that already.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing it this year.
Yeah, probably not. That sucks.
Anyway, when
Yeah.
we're there, I would love to meet you in person. Um,
Sure.
but yeah, I do hope you have a great rest of your night. All right.
Thanks. You too. Thanks for having me. It was super
Yeah, no
great.
problem.
All
All
right.
right. Have a good one.
Great. All right. You too. Thanks.